Welcome back to What Gets Measured, a NinjaCat podcast about marketing, performance management, metrics, and effectiveness, because what gets measured gets managed. I'm your host, Jake Sanders. Most programmatic campaigns look fine on paper. Strong CTRs, efficient CPAs, clean dashboards. The problem is that most buyers have no idea what inventory they're actually running on, or whether any of it is reaching a real human being. Eric Tilbury, head of Programmatic at Inuvo, has spent over a decade inside that gap. He joins the show today to talk about why so many teams optimize for the wrong things, what good measurement actually looks like outside the platform, and the one question every buyer should be able to answer before they touch a campaign. Do you know what you're buying? If you've ever looked at a programmatic report and wondered whether any of it connects back to actual business impact, this is the conversation you've been waiting for. Before we jump in, a quick programming note. Due to a video issue during recording on my end, this episode is audio only. But the full conversation is here and it's fantastic, so let's go. Eric Tilbury, welcome to the show. How are you today, sir?
Doing great. It's 100 degrees out, so I actually do much better in the heat than the cold. I am so bad when it comes to cold weather.
Really?
So 100 degrees is my element. So we're having a great day.
Okay, good. But you're inside at least.
Yep.
And you're often online, you're in the programmatic space, just profoundly educational, super helpful. It comes from a deep subject matter expertise. And I just wanted to start really fast. If people aren't following Eric online, you should. You're passionate about what you do. And I think it's helping people sort of comprehend something complicated like programmatic advertising in a simple, relatable way. You use Ryan Gosling memes. You're not just putting things out. So I think it's rare and I think it's more required than ever. I just want to know where that energy comes from.
Yeah. So what's funny is I always kind of refer to myself as kind of the legend of the Phoenix. Like my entire social presence really came from burning down a lot, because I have a lot of conversations with a lot of different buyers. I have a managed service side. I have a self-service side where I push, PMPs over to clients, and a lot of conversations of just the other side not understanding how to think about programmatic, how to buy programmatic.
And when you mean other side, are you talking clients?
Yeah, so you're talking clients, you're talking either brand direct or you're talking agency side. Those are like my two largest type of verticals, right? And a lot of just mixed incentives on the other side of like, okay, well, I need to hit this certain goal to survive another QBR or whatever. So I have a story to tell, but it's like, okay, if you're going to go down that path, you're going to start doing things very incorrectly. So I had a lot of conversations, and really what you're seeing is like the frustrated side of me coming out and saying, hey, like there's a better way to do this. And if I just put this idea into the universe, like what happens, right? So I put my thoughts out into the universe all the time, and it just started catching on. What's funny is a lot of people are like, I feel like you've been around for a long time on socials. It's like I only started a year ago talking.
No, really?
Yeah, I've been in programmatic for 14 years now, but like I was relatively a nobody until about a year ago, where I just got really fed up and was like, I'm gonna start talking about this publicly. I'm gonna start telling people how to buy. I'm gonna give you something that's very complex that I have to do all the time,
For
where I
real,
have to
though.
simplify it, right?
Yeah.
So I simplify it, I put my spin on it. Like I always like people joke about like one of my superpowers is likability, right? So I sprinkle in that likability. It's where you see the Ryan Gosling memes and memes
It
and all that good
works.
stuff. Yeah. So it's actually been great. And what's funny is like I'm I'm not going to take credit for it, but there's a lot of initiative now in the industry of like, we need to figure this out, right? And I'm kind of like, did I play a part in that? I hope I did.
So let's speak a bit more personally, and then we'll get over to the industry kind of fluctuation. But what was that moment when you were like, I'm about to do it? Were you holding back? Or did you not quite know how to phrase it? Because I find
Mhm.
sharing how you actually think in a candid way gets much more engagement rather than posturing how you think you might want people to perceive you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been dealing with that, but you're raw, you're real, and you're helpful,
Yeah.
and you were sitting on that. Is that what you're saying? Like, man, I'm tired of having these conversations. Was that the impetus, or why
Yeah.
did you get out there?
I think initially it was fear of because I'm still relatively young, right? I mean, I've been in the industry 14 years, right? But like literally since college, I've been in the industry the entire time.
Mhm.
So it was one of those of like, okay, is someone going to hold something against me? Would this, impact like if I was going to get a future position somewhere? Like if I say something wrong online, it's there forever, right? And then I was just like, okay, like just be yourself, because I'm not a I did like wrestling, I did martial arts, so I'm more very calm, right? So like if someone attacks me, like I'm very calm, right? So it's
Mm.
just like just be yourself. Don't
Mm.
don't go and be hostile and just speak the facts. So like when you get my perspective, it's literally just the facts. Like I'm not bombarding other companies, I'm not talking crap on other companies. I am just giving people the facts. And I think people appreciate that.
So, absolutely. I mean, that's what drew me to you because it's so often that I think part of the reason why a lot of the clients maybe that you're interfacing with have ignorance in regards to this but complicated, not
Very,
complex,
yeah.
but complicated because we made it
Yeah.
so. Do you think that not ignorance, but maybe not unwillingness to engage with the raw material?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this next question is like you're talking about ads.txt and
Yeah.
sellers.json. Like
Yeah.
you're using real technical terms in a way that's frank, and you know what I'm talking about. I
Yeah.
wonder if a lot of people are ignorant because they're just exhausted, or
Yeah.
why don't people want to care like you do?
So yeah, a lot of it comes down to like what their incentives are on their other
Mm,
side, right? Like
right.
and it comes down to a knowledge gap at the buyer level, right? So if
Mm,
you start talking about like people at the top, be like, we need this stuff, we need this to happen, but then it goes down to the buyers and the buyers to actually make certain things happen. A, they don't know how.
mm,
And B, they have certain goals that they are pressed on at the end of the day, even though at the highest level someone told them to do something, they're like, I have to hit the CPA, I have to
right.
hit the CPM, I have to hit the CTR. So you do whatever you need to do to make it happen. Right. And it's so wrong. It's
But it's so
so
easy,
it's
Eric.
so
Would you
easy.
would you say that that's the thing where you have to get in here and say, "I know it seems easy, but when
Yeah.
I'm telling you check your ads.txt, this is basic hygiene, but most people are not looking at it,
Yeah.
So maybe they don't know that they should. And so I
Yeah.
just I just want to look into this. Why in regards to the ads.txt, these are ongoing problems that you see proliferating, and
Yeah.
through maybe a bit of convenience or ease or ignorant incentives meeting exhaustion, you
Yeah.
just say sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why aren't they checking simple things like this? Like if I'm out here and I'm seeing the chatter, I'm like, what are y'all doing with my money? You know?
Yeah. So
Um,
there's multiple reasons. They just don't know how, right? Like
it's
plain
so
and simple.
technical.
Yeah, they don't know how. Like some DSPs, like they don't even have ads.text as a flag for you to say, like, yeah, I want to buy within ads.text. I want to buy ads.text seller direct, like direct sellers, right?
Mm, mhm.
and they
which
don't
would
even
be
know how to
helpful.
validate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then some of them make it hard to like. You can't just pull a report by ads.txt and sellers.json. You would need some kind of log level integration with the DSP, right, to get that data and say like, okay, am I actually buying authorized direct, and is it validated through sellers.json? Because all ads.txt is a publisher saying, hey, this is who could sell my inventory. These are the direct sellers, and these are the resellers, right? And sellers.json says, this is all the inventory that I can sell, right? And then you validate those two, and you say, what publishers did I buy from? What inventory source did I buy from? And do they match? Right? Like, do they meet up? Right? And if they don't, you have something weird in there, you just block the living crap out of it, right? Like,
And just to update the audience, how many people are doing this? Like, what percentage of agencies?
It's not common. The optimizations that are done are mostly, hey, I'm buying these domains. What CPA am I getting from these domains? What CTR am I getting from these domains? What CPM am I getting? Let me optimize that way. They never go down. Like, if you ask any buyer right now what exchange they're buying from in the DSP, 95% plus, probably 99% plus, will have no idea what exchange they're buying from. They're just setting an audience in the line item. They're doing their creative, they're doing their budget, they're doing the frequency, right? They have all these like magical tools that they say that they have, right? Like we're doing all these crazy things to manage frequency across platforms and all that, but it's like you don't even know who you're buying from. Right? Like you have no idea. So like, yeah, like I literally just had an article published about this of like most campaigns fail before they even run an impression because they don't know who they're going to buy impressions from.
Woo! And so then someone would say targeted, and then someone would say data.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is a professional podcast, but these people say, they're like, well, we have the targeted stuff. We
have the data.
We can go for them at that clip. Yeah. Now, like when we're talking about maybe, speak to that, like targeting, like someone says, no, Eric's, he's talking crazy because you just make an impression, or they're just there to awareness, or I'm about to target this thing so laser tight.
Yeah.
What's your comeback for those people? Because that does exist, or how does it work in a programmatic universe?
Yeah, they drank the Kool-Aid, right? Like it comes down to whether like this audience that was sold to me or that was created by, my agency or whatever is so good, right? It's going to figure out what is the best impression, right? Which there are solutions that will do that, right?
This is what I'm saying. The tech is here. And if I I did deep market research, I know about the TAM.
Yeah.
I know about these people. So then that's all good. But when you're taking this off the shelf box that says buyers, or
exactly. Exactly. Like, like there'll be a segment in a DSP that just says auto intenders, 5 million users. Like, what does that mean?
I like my odds.
Right? Like people who drive, right?
Oh, I could get all of them. Get in the funnel. We're going to convert them all. Well, so no, you're right to say that, but now it gets to this question of AI, like massive amounts of data. I mean, that's what's going on in programmatic right now. If you have thousands of campaigns out in launch, you are going to need to use some kind of data tool to get it set, get it normalized, get your data cleaned. How do you see AI actually improving like quality in programmatic today? And what kind of data foundations do you have to have in place?
It comes down to more just like complex decision making, right? Like before, the common setup was to push IDs from a DMP into a DSP, and then like you're off to the races. Now with AI and all these different tools, you could take multiple different signals within a bid request and say like, how well does this actual bid request fit my audience, right? And like a lot of people run into the problem or they try to think that they could run programmatic like the walled gardens, right? Where they set an audience and they say, like the walled gardens, they own that entire ecosystem. They know exactly who that ID is, right? It's on their inventory. But then you go into programmatic where it's very fragmented, and the strength of it is the fragmentation, right? But there's a ton of different ownership. All these different signals are happening at one time. So AI really helps with getting all of those different signals to make a better decision where the traditional way is just matching the ID and the bid request or some stale URL or whatever, right? But yeah, AI like really, really, really helps with that. Like that is a game changer, right?
I mean, it's a huge game changer. And just speaking about data, because NinjaCat, we've been in the data game, helping franchise people to, turn reports, roll them up, roll them down, do whatever you want. But it's weird because I feel like, are we having AI? Does it feel like it's changing the conversation, or it's just speeding up an old conversation? Like,
that's the fear.
What do you think?
I mean, there's a dark side and there's the Jedi Knight on each side, right? Like, right? So, there's good players and there's bad players. The good players are gonna, have a good solution. The bad players are going to capitalize on the crap. And the unfortunate thing is AI will do very good things, very, very creative things, but it comes down to the human that's actually buying it, right? And saying like, is this actually benefiting the end client? And there's a lot of hoops to jump through there, and the biggest one is cash margin, right? Like keeping the client, trying to hit what goals that they think that they need to hit, even though they're not the goals that they should be going for. And that comes with real conversations, and that's what I try and have on a daily basis.
Talk to me about when you've had that conversation. Like when you had somebody, they're like, "This is it," and you'd be like, let me
Oh
help.
yeah, it's very
How does that work? Because a lot of people are thinking, I'm not even going to say anything. If I think I'm just going to be like, cool, sign the check.
They risk losing the client. So I'll have a client, like a very common use case. They'll come in and say, I need this CTR. This is the CTR because I talk about these click trends in my QBRs and so on and so forth. And I will show them, I'll be like, okay, give me a list of just a straight domain list. Show me the domain list of your previous buy where you were getting this click-through rate, right? And what does it come back with? It's all fraud VPN apps and weird apps, right? Or weird URLs that no one's ever heard of, right? Weird sellers. And you're like, well, I don't even have a verification report from what you bought before, but I can tell you it was all bought just by looking at the inventory that you bought from and the inventory sources that you bought from, right? And then I will go and show them like, hey, like I'm buying, ESPN, the New York Times, right? Like and this is what click-through rate, you should expect from these because I'm targeting humans, right? Like humans don't really want to click ads, right? They want to see ads, right? Like in their unconscious mind, they want to see ads because they want to purchase stuff, but they don't want to admit it. And admitting it is clicking on an ad. So when you start to think about like digital and programmatic as a like more of a digital billboard of like inception, right? Of like, hey, I put this idea in your mind, and then I'm going to touch you in all of these other different channels, right?
Right.
Then start to move the needle because you're showing ads to humans. Humans are making that connection in their mind consciously or subconsciously, and then going and acting upon it. But you have to show ads to humans and you have to show visible ads, right? And that's, that doesn't align with the incentives that most buyers are going for, right? Like clicks, accidental clicks, you piss someone off, you target a bot.
Oh,
You
well,
don't
but
show
when you said real, people got to watch these ads. That's one thing that I did. I looked up the statistics for what counts as an impression.
Yeah.
I was shocked. And as I describe these things, it also feels weird. You're like, do people want to hear this? That LinkedIn says, you see 0.5 of an ad for like whatever, that's an impression, and you're like, wait, what is an impression? And so having some of these curious questions, knowing that you have relationships that you'd have to understand, chain of events, also thinking of digital as a billboard, starting to think of it like in home, in out of home, something like that. Maybe that could help. But I wanted to talk more about reporting at that level when you were talking about separating data, signal from noise. It just seems like when you said, show me your click through rate, I'll show you the noise. What separates organizations that extract real signals from their marketing data and those that just produce more dashboards? It seems like the people who just produce dashboards don't think about it.
They're
But
not
what are those
sticky.
clients that do think about it?
Yeah, the clients that so the clients and partners that I work with that are the most sticky with their clients, or they keep their job at the brand, are the ones that are taking measurement completely out of the platform and saying, hey, these are the actual metrics that we're seeing on our side. How do we measure how each channel and tactic is actually impacting our actual business, right? Rather than saying, a lot of times the platform metrics, they're used as a source of truth, right? Like
Oh, for sure.
you have 100-to-1 ROAS, you're awesome, right? Like it's one of those. So like you'll get a lot of the churn from the ones that use the platform as the source of truth, right? The stickiest ones, the best ones, the ones that actually move the needle, those are the ones that actually care and use alternative forms of measurement and understand that platform metrics, they're directional optimization. They're not the source of truth. They're an in-platform optimization that you can use when you understand how the platform can operate.
And you understand what to optimize, because if it's click-through rate or ROI or ROAS or whatever, and it's not tied to something that actually make that real number go up, that's key. Well, so if people come to you and they're like, hey, how do I tie my ads to business effects? Do you have advice there, or do you notice something in those clients again? How are they tethering it?
We actually got so fed up with the platform metric that we stood up an entire MMM solution on our side, and we started offering it as added value.
Word.
And then it opened up a can of worms where we had our clients who were like, okay, I don't want you grading your own homework. I'm going to get my own and measure it. And then the numbers match up, and they're like, okay, you're cool. Right. And then,
but they took your advice to go off platform, which is cool. Like, go ahead, verify.
Exactly. Yeah. So we started offering it as added value of like, hey, like if you really want to see the power of like targeting on iOS, right? Like I will show you this via an MMM. It's going to take a while. The whole time I'm going to be talking to you about your model's health, the inventory health, right? Like I'm going to be buying real stuff and I'm going to tell you that story rather than saying, hey, your click-through rate is this each month, your CPA is this. It's more so, hey, your model is saying this in terms of like what the audience looks like, the inventory sources that I'm buying are this, right? And that is a much better way to go about programmatic rather than, just metrics that don't mean anything. You'll have like 100 slides of just bullshit.
Well, I mean, and marketers are offended. We're like, hey, some of those slides we worked hard on. But the point is, everybody, he was talking about MMM. He wasn't talking about MMA, or you thought it was wrestling or whatever. No, that's Eric's talking about
media mix modeling.
So media mix modeling, taking a look at all these things in an incremental way. But you just said you offer this thing. That's awesome. But how much data do you need to plug into this? Like, because that's where it's like, if that's my question, don't you
That's
need
the knock. that's the knock on it, right? Is it takes time to measure it. They
Right.
want to see, they're so geared towards, what is my return today,
Right
which
now.
they were trained on from Google and Meta, right? And they pull that information very quickly and they claim a lot of the credit, they claim all of the credit,
Sure.
right? So marketers are trained on that, and something that actually shows the effectiveness, right, takes time. Like, not every single user is the exact same. Not every single decision is the exact same. To see patterns and trends and real, actual trends, it takes time,
Totally.
right? It's not an instant thing. I think that in Google and Meta, they're very strong channels. Like I will never knock them. Like they are
Oh, no,
very,
yeah.
very,
They're
yeah,
working.
they're very, but you're serving on very specific inventory sources,
Mhm.
right?
Exactly.
Unless you let PMAX just go rogue, right? But for the most part, like you're just serving on very specific inventory sources, and that starts to plateau after a while. Like you
Sure.
have the initial growth, you have great growth, and they're awesome channels. They're great for nurturing that lower funnel, right? And really bringing home that conversion, but you have to fuel them. After a while, you have to fuel them. Like in the beginning, if you're
Mm.
some brand like a water bottle, right? Like a Stanley Cup competitor, you're using Stanley Cup's branding to just to kind of hijack their branded spend with your spend. But after a while, if you want to hit a certain growth, you have to start branding yourself, and that's where you start to dive into other channels, right? And that's people don't understand that. And then you have the biggest brands in the world that are going heavy in those channels, and they
Mhm.
start to forget about brand, and they run into issues.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's that you talk about Adidas.
Yeah, Nike had that problem.
So these are big brands that should have things figured out, but they took a deep look at what matters to them. What gets measured gets managed, but you got to manage it yourself and don't just look at the measurements. And then if you need somebody to talk to about, you got to get with Eric. My last question. My last
Mm,
question.
yeah.
Um, let's say you're in an airport, okay?
Mhm.
And you see an advertising exec, one of your client, profile, they're stressed at the bar about efficiency and they're wailing about ROI and you're like, "Oh god, like that's bad." What one, I mean, you probably don't even approach them. Probably Eric is don't do it. But if you did and you leaned in and you were like, "Hey, what would that one piece of advice be?" Just like, "Hey, by the way."
I would say you need to look under the hood immediately into your advertisement. Like, what are you actually buying? Right? Like, do you know what you're buying? Right? That's
That's
square
it?
one.
And
That
then
is
you would
square
just
one.
throw a smoke capsule down and just, like,
Yeah, it'd
peace
be
out
like,
like that, man.
what are you buying? Do you know who you're buying from? How you're buying? Do you understand your advertising strategy?
Mm,
Most of the executives don't know. And
mm.
then they have an idea of what they're trying to do, and then it goes down to the bottom, and the bottom is just trying to survive, right? And it's just this churn of just see it that like the CMO position is a revolving door for this issue. For
It's
this
so tough because it's trapped at that measurement thing and then felt the stress at the bottom. But
yeah,
from all levels, if we said, "What are we buying?"
yeah.
Check what's in the bag.
Yeah,
TSA tells you that, you don't leave your baggage unattended.
yeah, like what's your actual strategy, right? Like, do they even have a strategy, right? Like, that's
Well, but
a
I mean, Eric, I'm thinking too, you're just a practitioner. What the hell are you talking to me about strategy for and giving good
yeah,
advice? But also, I'm like, this man doesn't have to care about strategy. He could
yeah,
just do his work as a tactical person.
yeah.
But again, I think that goes back to the top. You have a strategic underpinning to your advice.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So how do you get that across? Like, I'm not just knocking people's game or like, rocking boats.
yeah. It's more so just like the more information I can get out there, hopefully high level positions start to take notice to that, which, for the most part has. And then that starts to trickle down of like, hey, we should be caring about this.
Mhm.
And if that trickles down to the actual buyer, the people making the actual decision, right? So, like the executives aren't, what's funny is they aren't the ones actually, they're making a high level decision, but
they're
like,
not in these conversations.
yeah, like what exchange to buy? Like they're
well, and then you'd think how silly it would be to go to the head up and be like, we don't know what we're buying.
Yeah.
We actually don't know what we're doing. Not doing, but we don't know what's inside of what we're doing.
Yeah. And a lot of them, like, it's funny, you see their creative strategies, like this is a no rabbit hole, and you're just like, you don't even really have a creative strategy. You're just like saying words, right? And they don't understand the difference between a display ad and a meta ad, right? Like meta ad is essentially a display ad, but it has copy, right? You can put more there, right? Display ads, you have a couple seconds, if not milliseconds, to say this is exactly what this is. This
Better
is
jump into it,
right? And then you'll get that same type of meta ad on display, and it's so wordy and no one knows what's going on. Or it's like there's just so many different, like, just video environments, right?
Oh,
like
the in-stream, out-stream, don't. We don't have that much time.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but quality, programmatic, rethinking digital advertising more akin to the old way of just like, like, I think there's something more freeing. But Eric is amazing. And you got to follow him. If people want to connect with you and learn more about you, Eric, how can they do that?
So the two platforms that I use the most are LinkedIn, just Eric Tilbury on LinkedIn, and then Twitter is like where I was birthed. That's literally where, like, I am a product of Twitter.
That explains it. Yeah, I was like, wow, how he's just hitting it, like knows what to say and how to say it in a lot of characters. It makes sense, man. I cut my teeth on Twitter.
Yeah, that's where I got all of my initial traction was from Twitter. And then I just started copying and pasting what I was saying on Twitter onto LinkedIn, and it's like, top.
Cheese or chocolate?
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Cheese or chocolate?
Oh, chocolate.
You're a hedonist, Eric. The way you answered that was just like, oh, man. Okay, chocolate. All right. Eddie Van Halen or Steve Vai?
Van Halen.
I know, right? What's Steve Vai doing? It's okay. But all right, fine. Oh, I think I met Joe Satriani, which was surfing with but I put Steve Vai. The answer was Eddie Van Halen either way. Okay. Surfboards or skateboards? Oh, you're in Cali. Could be either.
Skateboards.
Safer?
Nah, I just grew up in that skateboarding generation of CKY and all that.
Totally. Oh boy, I'm on the pipe. I see it. All right. Being chased on land or being chased in water?
Oh, land. I can climb stuff. I'm fast. Water, I sink.
Wait, I don't even know. Some of these questions I come up with, I was like, is that whatever? Yeah. But go for it. Okay. Poetry or kittens?
Kittens are cool.
Poetry sucks. That's what he said. Eric. All right. Our relationship's on the it's on the ropes, bro. Okay, you're right. Not that there was a right answer, but it probably was kittens. Okay, and then finally, throw pillows. Are they useful or are they useless?
They're useless.
You just done
before I was married, I had just the pillow I slept on my bed.
I like it because with women, and I'm not trying to say anything. No. They're coming with extra pillows. That's just a thing, right?
Yeah, no, they get thrown off the bed. And literally, I had one pillow until I was married. Just one pillow on my bed.
Just so man and his pillow. Oh, dude. Excellent.
I have no decorations.
No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like the potpourri bowl.
My walls were completely blank.
Oh my God. Don't now.
Yeah.
Okay, stop. Don't tell anymore. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You lived in a bunker, in a
Yeah.
cot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really.
Well, somebody took care of you. Somebody fell in love with you.
Yeah.